No, no, no. I'm not. Just yeah, I'm still. What's up? Yeah, it's more like a letter. Right next All right. Hey, y'all take it easy. They get somewhere else to be. Huh? I can't hear you. I guess. I don't know. Okay. What's up, everybody? Let's see. Okay. For both. Wait, Destin, do me a favor. I need to test out the sound really quick. Go to Speak Your Life Live. Yep. Hello, testing. Can you hear the sound? Testing, testing. Okay. Okay. Oh, it works. Ooh. Yeah, it's live right now. I mean, I could close the audio. Uh, Give us a few more minutes. Mm-hmm. No, not to dance. Okay. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We'll make sure this audio is good to go. So, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Back at it again. Here it is with the Speak Your Life podcast. I'm your boy Andre, and we are sorry for the delays, guys. It's a lot of construction here. A lot of construction, a lot of things happening. It's raining here, traffic, all that kind of combined into this thing that we're having here. But that is not going to stop us from having a discussion. It's not going to stop us from having a live. Here we are at Derek Automotives here in Atlantic Station. And if you're in the Atlanta area, definitely you need to come and check this place out. And if you are visiting Atlanta, you can still check this place out. So we have, a lot of cool things that we want to discuss, and we also we bring out Derek himself later on, so that you can meet him, hear his story, and hear about why you should be a part of this all. But before we get into all of that, we wanted to, just talk to people out there, just people, everyday people, and see and get a glimpse of like what they're looking for in future cars, because we all know the future is going electric. Gas will be no more. It's going to take a while, but it's going to be fading out, fading out. But we all know that electric cars are the future. So I brought with me my friend Destin, and I'm going to ask him what are his thoughts. What are your thoughts, first of all, on electric cars, the future, and what are some things that you're looking forward to on your next purchase? Assuming that will be an electric car.
Right. Oh, so I just want something that's efficient, something that's taken from point A to point B without having to charge like all the time.
Yeah.
A long charging battery.
Yeah.
Like over 300 miles would be nice.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I think Tesla, can't see the T word around here, but that company, the one that's run by Elon Musk, it allows you to go about 300 miles typically, and then you have to stop for a charge.
Mhm.
So, any other things that you're looking for as a customer, from the customer's perspective? What are you looking for in a vehicle, electric vehicle?
Like a well-built machine, a machine that I don't have to go out and get it fixed all the time. I want to be dependable.
Yes.
Dependable and long-lasting, like 5-10 years.
5-10 years. Okay. Okay. Good. Because I guess there's a lot of issues out there that people are facing where I guess the charges are taking too long, hours. People are maybe not finding enough charging stations out there.
Oh yeah, 'cause I got to drive like 10 miles to find my first charging station.
Oh yeah. So, but hopefully this infrastructure bill could help a lot with building more electric charging compounds. So, but anyways, thank you so much, Destin. Appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Um, yeah, guys. So, in a minute, we'll have Mr. Derek himself come out and introduce himself. One second, guys. Give us 1 second. We still got more people. Same thing. All right. So we got another friend here. We're asking everybody one by one as a consumer what they're looking for in electric vehicles. So next up is my friend Greg Mitchell.
Oh, okay.
Right over here. All right, cool. So everybody, this is my boy Greg Mitchell, right over here. So what are some, as a, again, the customer's perspective, what are something that you're looking for when it comes to electric vehicles, as we know that's the future?
Like an electric car or
Yeah.
bike or
All of it, any kind of vehicle, something that you ride most often.
okay, out of nowhere. Let's see. I have been in the market for like a Van Moof S3 electric bike.
Mm-hmm.
So I have actually been looking at electric bikes, and I used to have an e-car. I think mainly what you're looking for is how long the charge can go. Like, can you make it something that is a true car or bike replacement? Is it like giving you more freedom, or is it like giving you further hindrance? So
Yeah.
I think batteries have come a long way, and being able to maybe bring that battery inside your house or take pieces of it and put it inside your house definitely helps. But charging stations that are more readily available help things. But like, can you or can you not drive across the country or ride across the country is kind of the big question. So
because there's a lot of cars that can't really do that. They can't drive across the country without stopping too many times, right?
yeah, I mean, even with a Tesla, you'd have to stop at, I think it's 12 Tesla service stations.
12.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
they have their Tesla superchargers that are like located across, but really only a Tesla can get across right now.
Okay.
And hydrogen's also doing things, but
Mhm.
yeah. So how does Derek Automotive Technologies plan on solving that issue?
We'll be answering that question very soon. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. This is the perfect segue. Really quick. He's back here. All right, cool. So Greg had the perfect question, and as I just want to build that up with the fact that this is a historic event. This is a historic occasion, really, with Derek Automotives being the first Black-owned electric vehicle company, and we want to take this time now to answer that very question that he just asked in regards to how is Derek Automotives, how is the problem going to be solved of stopping too many times, charging too long, all these different issues that people are facing when it comes to all these electric cars and vehicles that they're riding in, Teslas or whatever brand that they're using currently. So Derek Automotives will solve that problem, and Mr. Derek Bailey himself is here to answer that question. So please welcome, guys, Mr. Derek Bailey.
Hello, guys.
Right over here. Yes, sir. So, the people out there are just curious. Some people have Tesla, some people have other cars, and they're curious as to how the problem of either taking too long to charge, either not having enough stations. Some people want to get across country and not, Greg just mentioned that, the typical Tesla driver takes 12 stops just to get across the country. So how is Derek Automotives different, and how, first of all, well, before that, just tell them a little bit about yourself and then how you're going to solve that problem.
I think you guys have seen me enough from all over the internet and that type of thing, so I'll spare you that. I mean, basically, what Derek Automotive's approach to EV charging is the constant replenishment of the batteries using our patented technology that's known as a Proteus generator.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people will say to me, well, what kind of fuel do you use for the generator? Well, we use any fuel. It could be gas, could be propane, or whatever. So they say, okay, well, you're still burning gas. I'm like, well, how do you think electricity is created? At the power plant, they're either burning coal or natural gas. So somewhere something is being burned to generate electricity.
Yeah.
And then that energy is transmitted over the power lines. What a lot of people don't realize is the power lines are the third biggest waster of energy.
Okay.
For every kilowatt hour that you put on the power lines, you're going to lose 15 to 40% of it.
Wow.
So burdening the power grid with a lot of electric vehicles, each one requiring, let's say, 100 kilowatt hours of power.
Yeah.
Which means for every 100 that you pull, you're going to lose 15 to 35 kilowatt hours.
Okay. Wow.
It's obscene. It's almost offensive if you call yourself an environmentalist. With the introduction of our technology, which basically creates that same electricity, yes, using fuel, but our engine is being certified as what's called a low emission engine. So certainly we make less carbon per kilowatt hour than a natural gas power plant would. Okay. Which is the cleanest of all power plants.
Yeah.
And we get back to transmission line losses.
Yeah.
So I think it makes a lot of sense. So that person traveling from coast to coast, the biggest burden they're going to have is maybe to stop to get a few gallons of gas. Don't forget, our cars also ride 100% on an electric drivetrain. My engine doesn't drive the car at all.
Yeah.
It's simply a power plant that's been moved into the car to get rid of the transmission line losses. And that power plant takes any type of fuel to spin a generator to create electricity to recharge the batteries.
Wow. We
don't let the batteries deep discharge, which tends to make the batteries last longer.
Okay.
2 to 3 times longer, which is a big thing. Because, one of the things that people often don't mention in this whole conversation about EVs is when you get all these spent batteries, what are you going to do with them? So we're already burying spent nuclear rods, in Yucca Mountain. Unless we get a big recycling program going for the batteries, if you bury them, then all these metals are going to seep into the water table or whatever. So, there's a lot to be done there as far as recycling batteries. But if you want something to move in America, you want something to move pretty much anywhere in the world because we're all humans.
Yeah.
You have to make it convenient.
Yeah, that's right.
Electric cars are great cars to drive. They're much better than a gas powered car because the takeoff is instant.
Yeah, that's right.
It's instant. So if people ever drive an electric car, I mean, it's just a great car to drive. The number one and really only problem with the electric cars is no one has time in their busy schedule to spend even 20 minutes. People say, oh, it's only going to take 35 minutes to charge a Tesla. Who has 35 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, we're color people. We late all the time already. It's like we already have color people's time. Now we're going to have color people's time plus electricity time. So, I mean, for us, we don't need it.
That's right.
We don't need it. So,
that's right.
All the car companies are all great companies. There are no bad cars. All the cars are good.
Yeah.
It really is just a matter of what a consumer is going to find the most convenient. And we believe that cars equipped with our Proteus generator, which we call Proteus electric cars, versus just a standard electric car. It's probably going to be the consumer's top choice. Your carbon footprint is roughly the same as an all-electric EV. But your burden is to keep 3 to 5 gallons of gas in a gas tank a month.
Wow.
So you can get 3 gallons of gas in about 2 or 3 minutes. I think most people will choose that over spending 25, 35, 45 minutes at a charging station.
I think so.
The gas infrastructure is already in place.
Okay.
Which means that governments don't have to take money from poverty programs where they should be spending it. I mean, I think it's obscene for a city to have people sleeping in the park,
Okay.
but they have $800 million to put out charging stations so that companies like Tesla and Lucid that are worth, Tesla's worth $1 trillion.
Yeah, just yesterday I read that. Yeah.
But the government should take $800 million
Uh-huh.
from poverty programs and put them into putting out charging stations. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. No, that's a whole another issue in itself. That's a whole other
And
discussion.
what do those charging stations plug into? Do they make power by magic?
Definitely
The
not.
charging stations is pulling power from the same electric power plant too.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So if you're in West Virginia, if you put out some charging stations, those charging stations are probably pulling power from a coal-fired power plant. So what have you done?
Not much different.
Not much different.
Yeah. Wow.
So charging stations, they bring convenience.
They do.
But I think having our produce generator inside the car brings even greater convenience
Okay.
and a smaller carbon footprint. I think we win.
Yeah.
So I think you guys noticed the other day, Tesla has a value of over $1 trillion. I think when you look at our company, I mean, that's for a specific reason. I mean, electric cars are cheaper to build than gas cars. Most of the other auto companies,
Okay.
they run about a 15% profit margin.
Yeah.
Tesla runs about a 30% profit margin. They average about $2,500 profit per car. Tesla makes about $10,000 profit per car.
Okay.
So Tesla makes about 9 times more
Yeah.
per car. So if Toyota is worth $400 million, then what's Tesla worth? 9 times that, right?
Yeah.
Because they're making 9 times the money on their cars. So you can understand why Toyota, the biggest legacy auto company, is only worth $420 million, and Tesla is worth $1 trillion. Because for every car is worth 9, and stock markets look to the future.
They do.
Okay, so let's look to the future with Derek Automotive.
Okay.
Our cars are going to be even cheaper to build than a Tesla.
Okay.
Because Tesla, their primary cost is in the battery system.
Yeah.
Okay, to get those 300 to 500 miles, they have to give you a big battery. Number one cost in an electric car, the battery.
That's right.
But since we're going to constantly recharge the battery, we don't need that big battery. So the car costs the same. Our battery cost will be lower.
Okay.
And to make our Proteus generator is only like $3,000 or $4,000.
It's not bad.
So we're going to have a cheaper car to build. We operate more like Apple. We don't have factories. Like Apple doesn't have factories. Apple has a company called Foxconn that makes the iPhone and all their products. And we have a factory that makes our products.
Yeah.
So we actually have 100% markup
Wow.
in our product.
That's a really good profit.
So
right
if
there.
Tesla is worth 9 times more than Toyota, what's my convenience worth since I don't have to stop and charge like Tesla?
Okay.
What's that worth to a consumer? Consumers can answer this by themselves. As an investor, if Tesla is worth 9 times more than Toyota, and my car is greener and more convenient, am I worth 9 times more than Tesla? 3 times more?
Who knows?
7 times more?
Yeah.
But, that's for other people to decide. But the Proteus is coming.
Yeah.
Derek Automotive is coming.
Yeah.
And I think convenience is coming to the EV space.
That's right. That's right.
And that's about the only thing the EV space is missing.
Wow. Yeah, because there's a lot of people, that I always hear the phrase, well, really from you that, Tesla's made it cool, but to
We're
drive
gonna make
easy,
it
but you're gonna
convenient.
make it convenient. So that's the real main focus that you guys have. And that's good that you have a focus because when it comes to having any kind of business, it's like how do you differentiate yourself from like the competition out there?
But one thing you'll know about convenience, I mean, take Walmart for example.
Yeah.
Among the biggest companies in the world.
Sure.
Once it was the biggest company in the world. What did Walmart invent? They didn't invent anything. They invented convenience. All Walmart had a simple proposition. We're going to take the kid store, the toy store, the food store, put it all under one roof to make it convenient for shoppers.
Yeah.
Biggest company in the world. What does Tesla do? They just make it convenient to hail a car.
Yeah.
Airbnb makes it convenient to, when you bring convenience to market,
That changed the game.
it changes the game and you just tend to get billions and billions and billions of dollars in valuation. So right now, every government on the planet, every government is trying to force their citizenry to electric transportation.
That's right.
So it's the number one mandate in the world, and we're going to make that convenient.
Wow. So
When you put a price tag on that, then investors in our company today, right now, as a startup, should give you some indication of what we could be worth in the future.
Wow. Yeah, and it's a lot of opportunities out here too. And we get into the investment part. Wanted to speak a little bit about the giving back portion that you talked about, because I remember a lot of times you have this passion for community and giving back, and there's a lot of companies that talk about it, but you guys have actual plans and structures and blueprints to actually go and act on that plan. From creating opportunities to fund people's auto stations, or even going to Africa to bring lights and electricity there.
Well, I mean, like I said before, our technology doesn't just apply to transportation.
Yeah.
It also can be used to create low carbon electricity for generators, or, for multiple uses. So we have like quite a few plans to like help the community. Even if you're a delivery driver, if I give you a vehicle that cuts your fueling costs by 2/3, I've helped you a lot.
Yep.
If you're an Uber driver, I believe as we move forward, and we have a ride-hailing car in design right now too. So
Okay.
a Uber driver pays a certain fee to Uber to use the platform. Their next biggest cost is fuel.
That's true.
So if you're spending $200 a week in fuel, if I could cut that to $25,
Yeah.
I just put another $275 in your pocket.
Wow. Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
that's huge. And
That is
I always, when I'm in these government meetings or whatever, I always make the point that people really don't need another government program. They need money.
Yeah.
Just like they did with the stimulus. If you send people money, they're quite okay.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
really don't need your program.
So
So you can make money or you can save money.
that's
So,
right.
we can help people save more of the money that they earn. I think that helps. And of course, we have our Prison Prosperity Program.
Tell us about that.
Well, again, I look at social justice from a capitalist standpoint. I actually believe that capitalism is going to do a much better job of bringing about change than other types of government and more socialist type policies. So instead of having a returning citizen put in some kind of program, how about I give them a van that gets 2,000 miles on 10 gallons of gas? He could go into the market, cut his price 30%, and still make more than his competitors. See what I mean?
So giving people resources.
If you give people a platform to make money, the number one thing, in my opinion, that's going to reduce recidivism is to help a guy make money. So if you were a drug dealer making, who knows, 100,000 a week,
Yeah.
you do your time, now you come home. Do they really think you're going to be happy making $15?
Definitely not.
Okay, so you get back in the game, then you wind up back in jail. But I believe if a guy can make about 150 to 200,000 a year,
Be straight.
you can take care of your family. I think you can. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the approach. Help people make real money. I mean, everybody runs around on the Bernie Sanders thing. Let's pay everybody $15 an hour. I mean, that's worthy.
Yeah.
But actually, I've been in the temporary staffing business for over 40 years. My family has. I was paying $15 20 years ago.
Wow.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
$15 is not going to support a family.
It's not. Yeah.
It's certainly better than $7.
It is. It is.
But we don't plan to go to market with the promise of paying people $15 an hour. We want to help people make money.
That's right.
And helping people make money is going to be the biggest social program that anybody can bring. If you look at the way we're handling our dealership rollout, we're not just partnering up with all the big existing auto dealership groups. We've created a crowdfunding portal of our own to actually help new people get into dealerships. We're going to help them raise the money to actually be able to do that. So, our approach is different. I mean, we're the first Black-owned, African-American-owned company. I think we have an obligation to do more.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we've been running around a lot of years asking other people to do more for us. Okay, so now that we're sitting in this seat, we can look pretty bad if we don't do more.
Yeah, and help our own people
when we are at the head of the company. So so it's an obligation for us to do more and to do different, and I think to be more creative. So
awesome.
that's the approach.
And really quick, before we do the Q&A, just wanted to just say really quick, for the people out there who just heard what he said and thought, obviously like, hey, that's really great information. You can take that information, you can let it sit there, or you can do something about it. And we encourage you at this time to, we're going to leave a link below. We've partnered up with Derek Automotive. They're one of our sponsors here at the podcast. And you can go to datspeakerlife.com and you can purchase your shares because they have a lot.
You're not purchasing shares.
Or where are you purchasing?
Well, you're purchasing a pre-order certificate.
A pre-order certificate.
Okay.
Okay.
The law kind of like works like this.
Okay.
I mean, unless you're what's called an accredited investor,
Sure.
you really can't invest in startup companies unless you're doing a crowdfunding, which like limits what you can raise, right? So the fact that like average people like in your audience didn't invest in Tesla or in Airbnb or in any of these great startups is not by accident. It's against the law for you to invest at that stage unless they do something special.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
you're buying you put in $1,000 on a pre-order for a car, which comes to us as revenue, which helps us grow. And in return for you supporting us that way, I'm gifting you 100 shares of stock.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense.
So I can
thank
give
for
you
explaining
I
that.
can give you what I can't sell you.
Exactly.
So it's a very important point. We like to stay on the right side of the SEC.
Oh yeah.
So you're not buying shares until we do an offering, which we're in the process
Yeah.
of doing. So this is
Thank
kind
you.
of like a ground floor for friends and family to get in early before we get to that next step, which hopefully, and based on what you see other companies being valued at,
Okay. Okay.
if you believe our technology is real and that we could
Yes.
be in that neighborhood, when we go public, most people won't be able to afford the stock they have. Or put it this way, they certainly, you could get 100 shares now by helping us,
Sure.
for $1,000. That same 100 shares later could cost you $40,000. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so I think that's
So get in now.
consider.
Get in now, y'all.
But the ground floor of anything is always better than the top floor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's, you gotta, whenever you hear about stuff like this, you gotta act on it now. You gotta act on it quick because sometimes people, they analyze too much. It's good to analyze. It's good to do your research, but then I think sometimes people maybe take too long or like, oh, I gotta wait for this perfect moment. I gotta wait for this. There's never gonna be a perfect moment.
There's never a perfect moment. And then when it comes to us, I tell people,
Yeah.
I mean, forget about investing.
Sure.
Help a brother out. You throw in $1,000, it's going to help me get over the finish line. Okay, if I don't make it, you help the brother out. He didn't make it, but at least I was a part of that history.
Yeah.
You help a brother out and I do make it. I was a part of that history, and look at my big check.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? So help a brother out. Just
That's
look at it. Just look at it in those simple terms.
Yeah. Yeah. So, appreciate that. And right now if there's any questions that anybody has out there, we'll take some quick questions.
Spencer Roberts, recent Morehouse grad. I had a quick question for you.
Congrats.
Thank you. Within just listening, for the past couple of months, with my friend Andre, and just what he's been telling me about the company, one thing that I wanted to ask is, what do you have? I know it's the first African American company established. As far as for like our HBCUs and our college students, because coming out of college, they'll give us a loan for, school, and we're in debt. When we go to the bank, it's harder to try to gain capital. And coming out of, college, I'm not gonna lie, I've done a little well than others, but for those who don't have maybe that $1,000 to give to gain, that stock, coming in at the bottom is definitely better than coming in at the top. But they're hungry, they want ambition, they want to set themselves up accordingly to in the future, because that's what we're ultimately looking at. What do you have as far as a plan, or is there something that's in works for where you maybe have like ambassadors for college to basically hone in on our younger youth, and not so much just the whole entire world, but coming together there? Because I feel like that's if you can win that age group, that's definitely it helps the generations after they buy in better. So what do you have geared toward, college students and things of that nature who are hungry to be entrepreneurs like yourself and thrive, but also have a game plan set up so that they can participate?
All right, well, we're doing a couple of things. That's a great question. So one of the things we're doing is what we're doing here with Andre right now. When people support us, he's one of our brand ambassadors. So, he earns revenue just like any other TV station would, for having us on his podcast. So even a college student can learn what we're doing, master our presentations, and share it with their friends, become an affiliate or a brand ambassador, and earn money that way. So that's one thing that we're doing. So this whole thing is set up to help people earn money of any age. Number two, you're going to see over the next few weeks, actually, we're launching our own crowdfunding platform. It's called Inclusive Funder, right? The inclusive is obvious. We're going to go after, or our platform is going to be for the people that's left out of Start Engine and WeFunder and all these other, big crowdfunding platforms. Because these platforms, number one, they're difficult to get onto now. Yep. Now they have this whole vetting process where your business seldom qualifies. So Inclusive Funder, the tagline is expertise, funding, and support. So actually, a college student will be able to come to us with an idea. We're going to surround you with the people who helped me get where I am. You see what I mean? So you'll have the lawyers, the accountants, and everything like that, and somebody to help you perfect and patent your ideas, and then we'll help you launch that way. So Inclusive Funder is one of the things that we're doing, and that does use those crowdfunding rules that I was talking about. You're able to raise up to $5 million from anybody if you understand how to do the legal work around that. So we're going to have all that, put into a basket. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we're doing with the historically Black universities is we're taking projects based around our technology through those to these campuses. So the first example would be we're in the process of closing out a deal right now with Savannah State. Mm-hmm. Their sports teams are called the Tigers. So we're going to launch a company called Tiger Bites with Savannah State. So, we've already purchased the domain and set up the company. So we're going to take our technology and produce a 250cc engine size, which is not something for the car, it's going to be something for the bike. And so we believe that we can probably build a very durable, long-running dirt bike. So it's going to be an off-road bike. That's a huge market. It's like a $79 billion market for these bikes. So the students will be able to, we're basically going to launch a startup on campus, right? And the students will be able to participate in that startup. So the company's going to have a CEO, and then the students will be able to mirror that position. So you'll have a mirror CEO, you'll have a mirror CFO, you'll have a mirror chief technical officer, you'll have a mirror advertising agent. See what I mean? So students will actually be there and watch us take something from a startup on their campus all the way. We're going to take this company public. So all that stuff that you need to know that really makes money, how money is really made, we're going to design the first program that takes Black students and takes them down that gauntlet. And just like with anything else, you teach a man to fish. You know what I mean? Thank you, Mr. Bailey, very much. And then Inclusive Funder is going to be there. So, you're going to be able to. So we are trying to build, a ecology, so to speak, that's going to create like opportunity. Not just for our people, but for people. I mean, it's like I tell everyone, we complain about racism, so I'm not going to build a racist company. You know what I mean? So we're open to all. It just so happens this company is going to be, head by Black and brown individuals. And there's a certain just different attitude that comes with that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's just going to be more openness. But I think if you look at Derek Automotive, we certainly represented, by all races and sexes and genders and everything else. So.
Any other questions?
Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. You did.
Okay,
Sir.
Do you have any, do you have any current market evaluations for common stocks? Like, is there any estimates as to when you do go public?
Yeah, but, putting out estimates get you in trouble. We show people what we believe are the pertinent facts, and, most people are smart, or they know someone who's smart. They can draw their own conclusion or estimates. But, we tell people, look at the comps. Look at our technology. Look at our competitors' technology. look at what they're doing, look at what we're doing, look at their evaluations, and then come to some kind of conclusion as to where you think we would fall in that. It's like I tell people, I mean, we are a black company, we're going to pay the black tax. You know, but if another company is worth $1 trillion, how much is the black tax? Will I be worth at least $2 billion?
Who knows?
$5 billion, $6 billion, who knows?
Yeah.
But I think with technology like ours, if you look at a company like Lucid, they have a fantastic electric car, but it's just an electric car. There's no Proteus or anything like that. It's not self-charging. I think the other day that company is worth $40 billion. They haven't shipped any cars yet. They're going to start shipping cars in about another 2 months. I'm going to start shipping cars in another 8 months. There's my electric car right there. So they have an electric car. I have an electric car. Maybe you think their car is better than mine, and so they're worth $40 billion. Is my car so bad as not to be worth $1 billion? If they're worth 40, could I be worth 1? Could I be worth 2? If I made it to $500 million and you invested today, you're still gonna make a lot of money.
Also, with the certificate that you get that will go towards a down van, are you able to use that for a moped or a scooter or something?
Well, you'll be able to use it for any automobile.
Okay.
Any automobile, whether it be an SUV or a van or something like that. You probably be able to use it to a motorcycle or something, but we haven't decided yet. But understand what these certificates are. Most of the people who are purchasing certificates don't necessarily want to buy a vehicle. This is what's going to happen, in my opinion. I mean, of course, this is a narrative. It may be self-serving, but I think it's true. We're a small company. We can only make, we have a manufacturing agreement for only 12,000 vehicles a year. Right? Okay, so let's just say the gentleman that spoke earlier, he decided to go into the delivery business. He goes out and he gets himself like a nice van. Okay, in the van on the market, you can Google for yourself. They claim 25 miles or whatever. With a load in the back, he's going to get about 12 miles to the gallon. All right, if he's driving X number of miles, maybe he's putting $30,000 worth of fuel in that van. But if he had my van, that $30,000 bill would be reduced to maybe $1,800. For every year he doesn't have my van, he's losing a lot of money. But he's number 24,000 in line to get one of my vans because we can only make so many every year. Oh, this brilliant guy over here has a certificate that moves him from number 2,500 up to number 700. So you're losing 20,000 a year that you don't have my van. And this guy has a certificate that would jump you to the front of the line. How much would you pay him for that certificate? You're losing 20,000. How much would you pay him for that certificate? Let's just say you don't have one truck. Let's say you have 10. So you're spending $300,000 a year on fuel. And for every year you don't replace those 10 trucks, you're losing an extra 150,000 or 200,000 a year. How much you give him for that certificate? He paid 1,000. Would you give him 2,000? If you're losing 20,000, you probably give him 5,000 or 6,000. You're probably going to give him up to half of what you're losing before your hand starts to shake. That's what I think the real value of these certificates are. That's why I think I'm going to turn them into NFTs.
So they'll probably have more value than they
right
now.
They'll have more value.
So it's good to hold on to that too.
Yeah. That's going to be another way that we're going to help people make money. I mean, we really are every day trying to be innovative and figuring out, how we can help people make money.
Nice.
Not just with our car, but just as a company, we want that to be a part of our ethos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. And you guys who came into the shop, you notice we have like a little TV studio over there now. Yeah. That space over there we're using for what we call dad life stories. Because just like you told the story, we recognize, especially as Black entrepreneurs, we're all in the struggle. And we're using that studio over there for people to come in and talk about their life, not like after you made it.
During, in the trenches.
But what you're about to go through, coming out of college, not having enough money, trying to start a business, not getting support, girlfriend leave you, dog dies. This is the best part of your life. I mean, this is the best part of your life. And that's really what we want people to understand. The struggle is the best part of your life. Now, you're not going to know that until you're my age. But then when you have your little Rolls Royce parked outside, a lot of money in the bank, life is quite boring. And you start thinking back. You remember how I overcame that? Remember we used to sleep on the floor and eat tuna fish? You know, that's when we were really in love.
Yeah.
Now you got money, you got problems, you got blah, 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 blah. So we're using our studio just to tell real stories, stories that other people need to hear. And I think if you realize like what these stories mean to your development, these the things that happen to you really make you who you are. It prepares you for what you're going to do next. You know, and we just think that, you know, telling these stories and associating it with our magnificent lifestyle products is, you know, it's going to be something else.
Yeah.
That people can sell and make commissions on.
Yeah.
But also, we think that message in the Instagram era when everyone pretends that their life is perfect. Everybody's always on vacation. Everybody is standing in front of a car that they don't own, or an airplane that they pretend to own.
Yeah.
I mean, let's tell some real stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's talk about people in the struggle. Some of us make it, some of us won't. But I think if we recognize that we're all in the struggle, we might help each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Might be able to provide a little empathetic ear a little bit more. You know, but if I look on Instagram and you got a jet and you know your life is perfect or whatever, maybe I won't even ask you how you are because you represent that everything's fine. You know, I mean, I'll be telling a story of what I went through to get here too. And believe me, that wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
It's never pretty, but when you make it, it's worth it.
It is. Yeah.
And hopefully it'll be, you know, inspiring to the guy who's just a little bit behind you, who hasn't made it yet, and help them to realize that they can make it too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Good deal.
Thank you guys for showing up, being here, a part of this. Make sure you go and check out Derek Automotives. Make sure you get your certificate today. We'll leave the link below. And come and support and be a part of this historic event, this historic moment of Derek Automotives. He's all the way from Philly, but he's here in Atlanta all the time. So make sure you check out this facility, this beautiful facility, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
Help a brother.
Yeah.